Hello and welcome to the Aussie and the Pom review show. Today we're reviewing Logan, the much anticipated Wolverine movie. And today we have here the Aussie. Nate, how are you?
G'day Dave, I am good and looking forward to doing this review.
Excellent. And we also have a special guest today, Laura. How are you, Laura?
Oh yeah, not bad.
That's the way.
Very talkative.
Tell me, what did you think of Logan? Oh, and before we get started, this is a spoilers review. So if you haven't watched the movie, probably best not listen. Come back after you've watched the movie. So, what did we think of the movie, Nate?
Yeah, I really liked it. I had very high expectations going in, and I think they fell maybe just a little bit short of those expectations, but still overall a really, really good movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. What about you, Laura?
I thought it was a pretty good movie. There was a lot of hype for the movie. I don't think it quite reached the hype, but it was still really good to watch.
I think I would probably agree with both of you. It's a very, very good movie. But yeah, I think the hype was so high that I don't think any movie probably would have lived up to it. So you would have had to really had one of the best movies ever to live up to the hype. So
yeah, I think a few things that you hear quite a lot how great this movie was leading into it, and it was that expectations wasn't quite met for me, and that was the biggest problem. But there was so much to like about this movie, and I think we should start talking about that.
Absolutely. So what did you think of X-23, the little girl?
Well, I thought she was great, and she obviously she acted really well in it. I thought for the whole movie she wasn't going to talk, but once she started talking, I thought, yeah, she does a good job of that as well. And just her fighting, I don't know how much of that was actually her compared to a stunt double, but however they transformed it from her to a stunt double, I thought worked really well. And she was a great character to add to it.
Yep. Laura, what did you think of X-23?
Oh,
Whose name is also
I
Laura.
thought she had an awesome name. I thought that was awesome. No, she was really good. I liked the fact that she only had 2 talons rather than the 3. The
Wolverine
the
has.
Wolverine, yeah. And I like that she had them like on her feet too, the offensive and defensive thing.
Yeah, apparently that's a comic book thing. She actually has them on her feet in the comic book. So
I didn't know anything about X-23, so when she pulled out that one out of her foot, oh, that was wicked.
Yeah, it's good. What did you guys think of the bad guys?
I thought I can't remember his name. Not the Doctor, the other one.
The main antagonist.
Yeah, I thought he was.
I can't remember his name either.
I thought he was pretty good, and he served the story well. But when the Doctor came into it, I thought it lost its. There was no point to it. It was just like it didn't need it for the story, and it didn't need it. And he was just kind of a character that was just there to die in the end.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yep, I can totally see that too. But at the same time, I think if they'd gone into too much detail, they would have spent too much time on the bad guys. Whereas I think the essential bulk of the story is Wolverine, Professor X, and Laura, X-23. And I think that they did well by concentrating on that section of the story. What do you think, Laura?
It was pretty good. I like the fact that they didn't really spend as much time on the detail of the story rather than just showing it what happened.
Yep.
My problem would be not that they had too much of him, that I would actually just cut him from the movie. I'm not entirely sure he served any purpose.
The Doctor?
Yeah, didn't
I think he was needed for the backstory. I don't think he was necessarily needed that much screen time.
At the end, you mean? So it's good for that flashback where they explain the origin, but probably didn't need to show up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question for you two. What did you think about Evil Wolverine?
I thought he was awesome. What did you think, Laura?
I think he was a really good match for Wolverine, knowing that he was like not at his greatest state. I don't know. He wasn't that awesome as to what you guys are thinking.
What do you think, Nate?
No, I really liked it, and it was a shock. Like they kept it hidden very well from all trailers as well. So when he
I didn't see it coming.
When he ended up stabbing Professor X, or like, what the fuck's going on here? But then you realise it's a much younger looking. And I thought the effect of making him look younger was really good too. It worked really well.
Oh, I love the acting of Hugh Jackman. Like he had that whole limp and that old man kind of vibe he was giving off when he was old man Logan, and then he was just super young, fit Logan when he was the bad guy. I thought just the way he did his body language between the two characters, he did a really good job.
All right. So what was your favourite scenes from the movie then?
Laura?
Well, this is gonna sound so sad, but I really loved the like burying of like the two.
Oh, how they were both buried by the water and
Yeah, they were both buried between like water and land, and that touched me. That was so cool.
that was good. What did you think of that bit, Nate?
So your favourite bit, Laura, was them burying
when we killed Professor X and Wolverine.
Right. Says a lot about you, Laura.
It wasn't. No. It wasn't the fact that they died. It was the fact that the way that they were buried was really meaningful, and yeah.
Fair enough.
All right then, I'll forgive you for that.
What was your favourite bit, Nate?
When he bloody injects himself with the green shit and just goes mental.
Goes berserker Wolverine.
Yeah, just for about a couple of minutes and just goes mental and just starts hacking people up. And I have to say, he hacked a lot of people up in this movie.
He did hack a lot of people up, but I was kind of just a bit disappointed that he didn't get to go up against evil Wolverine when he was pumped up. That was probably one of my major negatives, was he pumped himself up, he was back to his old self, and then the juice kind of ran out before he got to face off against evil Wolverine.
The bit that I really liked was the bit where you see him running through the forest, and he kind of had old man boobs wobbling to and fro. But after he injected himself, that was like flat chested and just muscly again, and he was running. And there was nothing.
Oh wow, you were really looking at the detail of those man boobs, huh?
I could help it. I nearly hit me in the face. I was swinging side to side that much.
Well, we also called it too. Like we were sitting in the cinema, and you know when he gets the vial of the green stuff, and it's all like taking small doses. Me and Dad looked at each other, and he's like, "He's going to take that all at once, isn't he?"
Yeah, I thought that was that was very predictable. That.
All right. So, what was your favourite scene then, Dave?
Mine, I'll probably have to go with you, Nath. When he was high up on that stuff, and he was back to his old self, running through the woods, and he must have killed about 15 or 20 dudes.
Yeah.
That was just really well done. Like I said, it's kind of tinged with probably my biggest negative that he didn't go up against evil Wolverine. But that was probably my favourite bit. There were some of the really good bits too. I really like the kids, even though they don't get a great deal of screen time. They just peppered in enough of the their mutant powers and stuff to make the kids actually quite interesting without overdoing them on screen time.
Yeah, and they've all sort of got powers from past X-Men, if you've taken note. Like, you had Iceman's powers in there. You had, I think, Storms as well, and Bolts as well, from what I've heard. So, they're very clever the way that they've used the young kids, and it's kind of a story that you'd probably like to watch again, like to see where these kids go for, I think they call themselves the New Mutants in the comic books.
Yeah. Apparently somebody pointed this out to me, that they used the word New Mutants about 3 or 4 times during the movie. Now, apparently there is a New Mutants movie coming out, but it's set back like in the 80s, like it's a offshoot of the X-Men. Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to go forward, if they go forward at all with these kids growing up in Canada in like the 2030s, because that was basically 2029 was when Wolverine was set.
It could be that Canadian team that they got up there. Is it Delta Flight or Delta Force? Alpha
Flight.
Yeah.
Alpha Force. Oh God, I don't know, but anyway, it's one of them.
Yeah, so that could be a movie that happens in the future. Now so we've got a lot of positives in the movie. Now, are there any negatives that you can think of? David likes his movies very simple, so he wouldn't have any. But Laura, I'm more after your opinion.
One that really annoyed me. It was more that Laura didn't talk the entire time, and then just kind of started talking for no reason.
When she needed to talk, because Professor X had died. It was needed to push along
the story. She didn't talk because she felt like she needed to, if that makes any sense. Like she only started talking because the
because
story
the movie plot
needed her
demanded
to.
it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
If she had like started talking just before like she left Logan, I thought that would have been a good time for her to start. Or if she'd just started from the beginning. I don't think when she started was a good choice.
Or even just when she just could have said, if her only words for the whole movie when Logan was dying and she just said, Daddy, that would have been fine by me.
That would have been awesome.
That was pretty heart-wrenching.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Anything that you could think of?
You've heard the biggest one, and the other one. This may surprise you, but it was rated an R, right? It was an R-rated movie, and it needed to be because of the violence that they portrayed. And so it actually kind of bugged me a bit when they just put this random pair of boobs up on the screen.
Oh,
there was no need for it. When he was driving the limo, and they had what was a hen's party. And then just this one chick in the back goes, "Hey, driver, check these out." And I just thought that was completely unnecessary. It really bugged me, actually. And, I don't mind a bit of nudity, but it had nothing to do with the story. It was just there for the sake of, we've got an R-rated movie, let's see if we can put some boobs in the movie.
Yeah, all right. Now, do you want me to give you my things that I didn't like about the movie?
501 things wrong with the movie with Nate.
Go.
All right. So my main one is that they Raiders of the Lost Ark'd it.
Mm.
As in Raiders of the Lost Ark. If Indiana Jones wasn't in that movie, the movie would still be the same. Same start, same middle, same end. He doesn't need to be in any of it.
So you're going to say that Wolverine didn't help them escape?
No, in fact, he brought the trouble to them. So if that lady got that X-23 out and went straight to the location...
If she'd just hopped in a cab, you mean, and stayed away from Wolverine.
Yeah, she would have got to the hill, and then they would have got over, and that's fine. But the problem is that she chased after Wolverine, they tracked Wolverine...
And then they got the photo that had the location.
And then from Wolverine, they got to that guy. What was his name? The guy played by Steve Merchant.
Yeah, the albino guy.
Yeah, and he helped track them down. Now the problem was, if she just got her out and went straight to the location like she was meant to, they wouldn't have brought Wolverine into it, and no need for it. They would have got over the border fine.
Okay.
Boom.
I totally understand that. But at the same time, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a damn good movie. I don't care.
But it's true though, isn't it?
It is true. And that's probably, it's a bit nitpicky, but go on. Yeah, what else you got?
That was my main one. No, I just thought it was the story was a bit too
simplistic.
Simplistic, yes. It was a bit like, it reminded me so much of Mad Max Fury Road.
I haven't actually seen that one yet.
Neither have I.
Well, basically, spoiler, everyone knows, anyway. So basically, if you haven't seen this, I'm going to give away a huge story plot line here. In Mad Max Fury Road, they get in a car, they drove to point B, and then once they're at point B, they go, oh, this is no good, let's go back to point A. And that's pretty much the whole story. And in between there, they're trying to kill each other, and that's it. So it was just a very basic, let's get from point A to point B in Wolverine, and try not to die. And it was just very simple.
Yeah, but they did die.
Yeah. they sucked at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and another thing, it was like Professor X, when he stayed at that on that farm with that family, he kind of said, well, this is more about me than that family. I kind of don't mind if they get in trouble for me to have one peaceful night living like this.
That was Professor X, not Wolverine. Wolverine wanted to leave.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
You said Professor X.
Kitty, I wasn't listening, sorry.
So you weren't listening and you corrected me anyway.
Well, soz.
Yeah, so that's the issue that I have.
Yeah, I kind of get that, but at the same time, the way they portrayed him in the movie was that he was suffering from some sort of mental illness, or whether you call that Alzheimer's or just old age or whatever.
No, they said
he was in his 90s, so you could probably put that down to just a bit of mental dysfunction. I would have thought.
Yeah, so they were the few things that bugged me a little bit, but I still came out of it not feeling like I was wowed like I was expecting to be. Like, the performances are all great, the action is great, but there's still something missing. And I will say in most X-Men movies that something is always missing.
I would agree with you, but having said that, I would also put this one as one of the better X-Men movies.
Oh, it's the best X-Men movie, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there's only a couple that come anywhere close to it, and Days of Future Past. I'd have to think about it. Which one of those two, Logan or Days of Future Past, I'd put as my best X-Men movie.
Oh, Logan for me by a mile. But that's saying something.
Okay.
I think that the
Fair
whole
enough,
X-Men universe is just not great. But anyway. All right, so what would we all give this out of 5?
I would give this a solid 4.5, 4.5.
4.5 from Dave. And Laura?
I'd probably like a 4.3, 4.4.
That's fair enough. And I think I will give it a 4.1.
Good score. So we all rate it pretty high, and definitely recommend it people go and see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely go see it, because it is a great movie. It's just that when you hear reviews saying it's probably one of the best movies of the year, you got very high expectations, and they weren't quite met. But anyway, I've really enjoyed it.
Can we talk about the fact that at the end, when they had like the little cross for the funeral, she turned it on the side so it's an X for the X-Men?
All right, so we've just reviewed Logan, and we've all rated it very highly, and would like to thank Laura for coming on for her very first review for the Aussie and the Pom website. And would you like to plug your social media there, Laura?
Oh, yep, shameless plug. You can find me on Instagram at littlemiss_anime.
Any others?
Not that I'd like to share with the internet just yet.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And Dave, where can they find you?
Alrighty, so Afghani_Dave on Twitter, and follow me there, and we do regular links to the Aussie and the Pom show, obviously. And Nate?
You can find me at apples_23 on Twitter, Appleby Creative on Facebook, Appleby Illustrations on YouTube, Aussie and the Pom on SoundCloud and iTunes. Basically, I'm all over the internet. And if you get a chance, make sure you listen to the Aussie and the Pom show, which you can find out on SoundCloud. And that has been our review. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. See you all next time.
Bye.